Hello, welcome you all to another episode of UGC NET preparation exam. You can take these slides as a last minute prep, and today we will be looking at how to solve simple and compound interest problems. For the last few years, these problems are frequently asked for the examination. So let us go directly to these problems. As you all know that when we borrow money from a bank, the amount that is borrowed is called as the principal amount. It is denoted as capital P. And we need to pay extra money for the amount that is borrowed from the bank. This amount is called as interest. If it is distributed uniformly, that is, if the interest is distributed uniformly for an entire period of time for which you are borrowing money, then it is called as simple interest and it is denoted as SI. The rate of interest is calculated as per the letter R and the time T, capital T. So the principal amount borrowed is represented as 100 into simple interest SI divided by R into T. R is the rate of interest and T is the time. So that is how we calculate the simple interest. Now let us see what is compound interest. So if we calculate the interest on the principal amount and also on the interest that is already paid, then it is called as compound interest and is represented as CI. CI is calculated as A minus P, where A is the amount that is payable after each year or each period, and A is denoted as P into 1 plus R by 100 the whole raised to N, where N is the number of years. This is how we calculate the compound interest. Now let us see the problems that has been asked for the previous year exams. The first one, let us see. The simple interest at 14% per annum on rupees 6,250 for 146 days is, the options are given as 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let us see how we can calculate this. So we use the formula straightforward. We know that the principal amount P is equal to 100 into SI. SI is a simple interest divided by rate into time. You are given that the principal amount is 6,250 and the time is given as 146 days. Remember here, when we are calculating the time, we need to find it out in terms of time period in years. Therefore, we need to divide 146 by 365. You can calculate it here itself, or we can calculate it once you put in the final formula. So rate of interest is given as 14. I have calculated it in the final formula. So from that, since P is equal to 100 into SI by R into T, we can write alternatively as SI is equal to P into R into T divided by 100. That will be 6,250 into 14 divided by into 146. That is P into R into T divided by 365 into 100, which will amount to 350. So simple interest is 350 and the answer is the first option. So it is simple, but the only thing that we need to remember is the time period, which is calculated in terms of years. So that was the first problem asked for 2019 examination. Now let us see the next one. This was asked for the 2020 June examination. A certain sum amounts to rupees 1,008 in 2 years and rupees 1,164 in 3.5 years. Find the sum and the rate of interest. So a certain sum amounts to rupees 1008 in 2 years and 1164 in 3.5 years. Find the sum and rate of interest. The options are given, the sum is given and the rate of interest is also given. Let us see how we can do this problem. So you are given the amount for 2 years and we subtract the principal amounts from the first year, that is given as 3.5 years, and the next year is given as 2 years. So simple interest can be calculated for the 3.5 minus 2, that is 1.5 years, which is equal to 1164 minus 1008, which is 156. So we got the simple interest for 1.5 years as 156. So this is the simple interest for 1.5 years. Therefore, we can calculate the simple interest for 1 year. That will be 156 divided by 1.5. From this, we need to calculate the simple interest for 2 years. So that will be 156 into 2 divided by 1.5, which is 208. Now, we need to calculate the principal amount for the first year. So since we have calculated the simple interest for 2 years and you also know the principal interest for the 2 years, we can subtract 1008 minus 208 will be 800. That is the principal interest. And for 2 years, the rate of interest can be calculated as 100 SI by P into T. So that will be 100 into 208 divided by 800 into 2, which is 13%. So the answer will be option 2, that is the principal amount is 800 and the rate of interest is 13%. So once we know the formula, we can calculate the remaining things. And if you are given the simple interest for 2 years, for 1 year we can calculate it based on simple formula, that is if it is the simple interest for 2 years, 1 year will be if it is the simple interest is 156, 1 year will be 156 by 2, like that. Let us see the next one. The simple interest on a certain principal is rupees 1200 for 4 years at the rate of 8% per annum. What should be the simple interest accrued thrice of the principal at the rate of 6% per annum for 3 years? The options are given here. So we need to calculate the simple interest accrued thrice of the principal amount and the rate is different for the 3 years, which is 6% in 3 years. How to calculate the simple interest? Options are given. We are given the simple interest in the first case as 1200, time period is 4, rate of interest is 8%. From this we can calculate the principal amount, which is SI into 100 by R into T. So that is 1200 into 100 by 4 into 8, that is 3750. In the next case, you are given that the principal amount is thrice that of the principal amount accrued in the first case. So 3 into 3750, the rate is given as 6%, time period is given as 3. So that is S is equal to PRT by 100. So 3 into 3750 into time period, that is 3 years, into rate of interest 6% divided by 100, that is 2025 is the answer. So answer is option 3. Let us see the next one. The compound interest on rupees 30,000 at 7% per annum is 4,347. The time period in years is, options are given. So here you can see the question is not simple interest but compound interest is given as 4,347. So the compound interest is given. We need to calculate the time period. So how we can do this problem? So amount is given as 30,000. That the simple interest, the interest accrued need to be added to the amount, principal amount. So that is principal amount is 30,000. So amount A will be 30,000 plus 4,347. and P is given as 30,000, and we know the formula P is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole raised to N will be equal to A. So P is 30,000 into 1 plus 7 by 100, the whole raised to N is 34,347. From this we can calculate the number of years N. So 34,347 by 30,000 will amount to about 1.14 or something like that. So when N is equal to 2, we can find that 107 by 100 raised to 2 will be equal to the value of 1.43. So the answer is N is equal to 2. The option for this answer will be 1. The number of years is 2. This is how we calculate the compound interest as well as the time period. So for both simple interest and compound interest, the formulas are slightly different. In the case of simple interest, we have a simple straightforward formula, but in the case of compound interest, we need to calculate the interest accrued and find out the amount accordingly. That is, you add the interest along with the principal amount, then we get the amount as equal to A. That need to be calculated. So these types of problems are commonly asked for the UGC NET examinations. If you know the formula, you can directly apply the formula and get the right answer. So it's a simple straightforward technique. So the only thing that the students need to remember is the formula for calculating the principal amounts in the two cases. So all the best for the exam.